Good morning, dear friends. In last lecture, we completed up to drugs acting on central nervous system. Means up till now we completed two sections, that is general pharmacology section and second one is drugs acting on central nervous system. Now, whenever MSBT will provide guideline regarding second sessional exam, अजूनपर्यंत तुमच्या गाईडलाईन आलेल्या नाही, तोपर्यंत आपण पुढचा पार्ट सेकंड सेशनल साठी लागणारा पार्ट सुद्धा आपण आता स्टार्ट करतो. नाउ फ्रॉम टुडे वी स्टार्ट विथ द थर्ड सेक्शन, that is section drugs acting on ANS, that is drugs acting on autonomic nervous system. This is the third section. Now under drugs acting on autonomic nervous system, here about 4 chapters are going to be included. या पूर्ण टॉपिक मध्ये परत 4 चॅप्टर्स आहेत, जसे सिम्पॅथोमायमेटिक ब्लॉकर्स, पॅरासिम्पॅथोमायमेटिक अँड पॅरासिम्पॅथोमायमेटिक ब्लॉकर्स, असे 4 चॅप्टर. हे 4 चॅप्टर तुम्हाला ॲन्युअल ॲज वेल ॲज सेशनल पॉईंट ऑफ व्ह्यू इम्पॉर्टंट आहे. कमीत कमी 12 मार्कांना ह्या ऑटोनॉमिक नर्वस सिस्टम चॅप्टरवरती विचारलं जाऊ शकतं. नाउ इन लास्ट इयर यू नो that what is nervous system. First we go for introduction. What is nervous system, what is peripheral nervous system, what is autonomic nervous system, what is afferent system, what is efferent system, likewise, isn't it? So nervous system in last year you may completed under HAP, that is human anatomy and physiology. That nervous system mainly consisting of 2 branches. One is to be central nervous system and second one that is to be called as peripheral nervous system. First one is central nervous system and second one is peripheral nervous system. You know that central nervous system that is mainly consisting of brain and spinal cord, that is related with external environment. Central nervous system mainly concerned with external environment, that is receiving of sensation, interpretation of sensation, regarding thinking, memory, all these functions control through central nervous system. While peripheral nervous system again divided into 2 parts. One is to be somatic nervous system and second one that is to be called as autonomic nervous system. This peripheral nervous system again divided into 2 parts, that is somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system. Somatic nervous system that is mainly concerned with incoming and outgoing nerve, that is called as afferent system and efferent system. Afferent system and efferent system. Afferent system that is incoming nerve sensation, while efferent system that is outgoing nerve sensation. While another one that is autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system, as the name itself indicating, that it is autonomous. Autonomous, that is which is not under the control of will, means it enjoys self degree of autonomous. You know that functions like cardiac muscle function, heart चे फंक्शन आपल्या हातात नाही, आपण कंट्रोल करू शकत नाही, isn't it? Means autonomic nervous system that is autonomous, which is not under the control of will. Even exocrine gland function, smooth muscle function, all these functions control through what? Control through autonomic nervous system. It enjoys self degree of autonomous, which is not under the control of will, and therefore this is to be called as autonomic nervous system, which is not under the control of will. Particularly the functions of cardiac muscles or heart function, exocrine gland function, smooth gland function, that is controlled through what? Controlled through autonomic nervous system. This autonomic nervous system again divided into 2 parts. One is to be sympathetic nervous system and second one is to be called as parasympathetic nervous system. This autonomic nervous system again divided into 2 parts. One is to be sympathetic nervous system and another one is parasympathetic nervous system. Now sympathetic nervous system that is mainly involved with external environment. It making the individual to adjust to stress, prepare the body for fight. That function controlled through sympathetic nervous system. While parasympathetic nervous system that is mainly involved in tissue building reactions. Means without parasympathetic nervous system animal may not be survived. It mainly involved in tissue building reaction, and therefore that system that is to be called as parasympathetic nervous system. While in case of sympathetic nervous system, it making the individual to adjust to stress, prepare the body for fight. That is the difference between sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Another major difference, In case of sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, that is in neurohumoral transmitters. Another major difference in case of sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, that is in neurohumoral transmitters. Neurohumoral transmitters. Suppose this is preganglionic fiber. In last year you may completed under AJP, that is preganglionic fiber. Then ganglion, postganglionic fiber, and effector cells. Now here, suppose this is sympathetic nervous system and this is parasympathetic nervous system. The major difference in sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, that is in neurohumoral transmitter. You know that at preganglionic fiber in sympathetic nervous system there is a release of acetylcholine. There is a release of acetylcholine. This acetylcholine passes through ganglion, and at the postganglionic sympathetic nerve ending there is a release of noradrenaline and adrenaline. At the end of postganglionic sympathetic nerve ending there is a release of noradrenaline and adrenaline. This noradrenaline and adrenaline combined with receptors, that is called as adrenergic receptors. Adrenergic receptor, that is alpha and beta receptors, and thereby produces pharmacological action. Therefore, this system is called as adrenergic nervous system, or also called as sympathetic nervous system. While in case of parasympathetic nervous system, at the end of preganglionic fiber there is a release of acetylcholine passes through ganglion, and here there is again release of acetylcholine. At the end of postganglionic parasympathetic nerve ending there is a release of acetylcholine. Whatever the acetylcholine release, it combined with receptor, that is particularly muscarinic receptors and nicotinic receptor. Therefore, this system is also called as parasympathetic nervous system, or also known as cholinergic nervous system. Whatever the acetylcholine released at the end of postganglionic parasympathetic nerve ending combined with parasympathetic nerve ending, that is combined with muscarinic receptors or with nicotinic receptor, and therefore this system is also called as parasympathetic nervous system, or also called as cholinergic nervous system. While here, whatever the noradrenaline and adrenaline release combined with adrenergic receptors, that is with alpha and beta, and therefore called as adrenergic nervous system or sympathomimetic system. So this is the major difference. Now this is synapse. Synapse, that is the structure which is formed by close opposition of one neuron with another neuron. So the major difference, that is in at the end of postganglionic sympathetic nerve ending there is a release of noradrenaline and adrenaline. Therefore this system is called as adrenergic nervous system. This combined with alpha and beta receptors. While at the end of postganglionic parasympathetic nerve ending there is a release of acetylcholine combined with muscarinic or nicotinic receptor, and thereby produces cholinergic action or parasympathomimetic action. So this is regarding what? This is the difference between sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Now you know that adrenergic receptors. Now adrenergic receptors, there are two types of adrenergic receptor. One is to be called as alpha receptors, and second one that is to be called as beta receptor. Now generally alpha receptors present in peripheral blood vessels. Peripheral blood vessels, eyes, GIT, smooth muscles. There is a presence of skeletal muscles. There is a presence of alpha receptors. While beta receptors are two types, beta 1 and beta 2. Beta 1 receptor, that is present in heart, while beta 2 receptor present in liver and in bronchi. Particularly in bronchial muscle there is a presence of beta 2 receptor. So remember that there are two types of adrenergic receptor, alpha receptor and beta receptor. Alpha receptor, that is found in peripheral blood vessels, eyes, GIT, then in skeletal muscles. While beta receptors are two types, beta 1 and beta 2. Heart, there is the presence of beta 1 receptor, remember this. And beta 2 receptor present in bronchi and in liver. remember this. This is the important one. If you understand that where alpha beta receptors present, then it is very easy to know the pharmacological actions of narrative drugs. So beta 1 receptor present in heart, beta 2 receptor present in bronchi and liver. Whenever there is a stimulation of alpha receptor, this alpha receptor when stimulation occurs produces excitatory effect except in GIT. It produces stimulation effect except in GIT. Why? Whenever there is a stimulation of beta receptor occurs, it produces inhibitory effect except in heart. म्हणजे ज्या ज्या ठिकाणी बीटा 2 रिसेप्टर असतील त्या ठिकाणी काय होईल डिप्रेशन इफेक्ट होईल एक्सेप्ट इन हार्ट. Why? In case of alpha receptor, whenever stimulation of alpha receptor occurs, suppose here noradrenaline release combined with alpha receptor stimulation take place, that leads to process excitatory effect, that is stimulation effect, except in case of GIT. In case of GIT there is inhibitory effect. Why? Whenever there is a stimulation of beta receptor, it produces inhibitory effect except in heart. So this is the adrenergic receptor. Similarly, cholinergic receptors or these receptors are again two types, muscarinic and nicotinic. Muscarinic receptors that is present in heart, peripheral blood vessels, eyes, GIT, smooth muscles, there is a presence of muscarinic receptor. While nicotinic receptors are present in skeletal muscles, adrenal medulla and autonomic ganglion. There is a presence of nicotinic receptor. म्हणजे ज्यावेळेस तिथे acetylcholine acting on skeletal muscle असेल, that time acting on nicotinic receptor. If the action of acetylcholine takes place on heart, then acting on muscarinic receptor. Here again M1, M2, M3 receptor, but you should know only that muscarinic and nicotinic. Muscarinic receptors found in heart, in peripheral blood vessels, eyes, GIT, smooth muscle. या ठिकाणी काय असणार आहे फक्त muscarinic. While nicotinic receptors are present in skeletal muscles, adrenal medulla and in autonomic ganglion. There is the presence of nicotinic receptor. So these are called as the cholinergic receptor. Just this is introductory chapter. You should know what is sympathetic system, what is parasympathetic nervous system, what are adrenergic receptor, where these alpha receptor, beta receptor are present, what is the action, where muscarinic, where nicotinic receptors are present, and what is the action. So here about 4 chapters are going to be included under autonomic nervous system. Let us start with the first chapter under autonomic nervous system. This is introductory. Already you completed in first year, but you should know what are receptors, where these receptors are going to present. So the first chapter, that is sympathomimetic drugs. Sympathomimetic drugs are also called as adrenergic drugs. Adrenergic drugs or sympathomimetic amines. This is important one. Sometimes they will ask define and classify sympathomimetic drug or define and classify adrenergic drug or sympathomimetic amines. Now these are the drugs when administered. These are the pharmacological agent when administered exogenously, that is outside the body. Now you understand that naturally here release होणार आहे, isn't it? But when exogenously, any drug given to the patient, that is from outside the body, any drug given, that drug produces stimulation of sympathetic nervous system as like natural stimulation of sympathetic nervous system, and therefore that drug is called as sympathomimetic drug. Mimetic means similar to sympathetic stimulation. Just as sympathetic naturally noradrenaline, adrenaline release take place. You know that this drug, that is noradrenaline and adrenaline, naturally synthesized from tyrosine. This tyrosine converted into dopa in presence of enzyme, that is hydroxylase enzyme. In presence of hydroxylase enzyme, this tyrosine converted into dopa. In presence of dopa decarboxylase enzyme, this dopa converted into dopamine, and dopamine converted into noradrenaline, then methyl enzyme transferases, it converted into adrenaline. This is natural biosynthesis takes place. That is from tyrosine, this is amino acid, tyrosine in presence of hydroxylase enzyme converted into dopa. Dopa in presence of dopa decarboxylase enzyme convert to dopamine. That is here there is a sympathomimetic drug release take place. That is dopamine. Then dopamine in presence of dopa enzyme again convert to noradrenaline. Noradrenaline in presence of N-methyl transferase enzyme convert to adrenaline. This is how dopamine, noradrenaline, adrenaline naturally release occurs. Now, when externally, that is exogenously drug administered, these drugs produces similar action as like natural stimulation of sympathetic nervous system, and additionally it contains amino group. Therefore, that agent that is to be called as sympathomimetic amines or antinergic drug or sympathomimetic drug. That these are the pharmacological agents when administered exogenously, that is outside the body, produces similar responses as like natural stimulation of sympathetic nervous system, and therefore that agent that is called as the sympathomimetic drug or adrenergic drug or sympathomimetic amines. Amines because of presence of amino group in the structure, and therefore called as sympathomimetic amines. Now these drugs, adrenergic drug, classified into three ways. There are three ways for classification of sympathomimetic amine drug. One way, that is according to chemical structural group. Second way, that is according to pharmacological actions. And third way, that is according to receptor combination. You should know there are three ways for classification of sympathomimetic drug or adrenergic drug or sympathomimetic amines. There are three ways. One way, that is according to chemical structural group, according to pharmacological actions, and according to receptor combination. Now here important one, that DAS classification define and classify sympathomimetic amine. That time is supposed to classify only according to chemical structure. But specifically in DAS classify sympathomimetic amines according to pharmacological action. They classify according to pharmacological action. If DAS classify sympathomimetic amines according to receptor combination, then classify according to receptor combination. So let us see first type, that is according to chemical structural group. There are two types of sympathomimetic amine. One that is to be called as the catecholamines, and second one that is to be called as the non-catecholamines. There are two types of sympathomimetic amines compound according to chemical structural group, that is catecholamines, and second one is to be called as non-catecholamines. Now catecholamines are those compounds that containing benzene ring. Chemically it contains benzene ring with attachment of OH substitution in third and fourth position of benzene ring. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. This is the benzene ring with attachment or substitution of hydroxyl group, OH substitution in third and fourth position. This nucleus is called as catechol nucleus. This one is catechol nucleus. With attachment of amino group, in side chain there may be attachment of amino group, and that therefore called as the catecholamines compound. This is the basic structure present in those compound. That compound that is called as catecholamines. Example of catecholamines, that is adrenaline, noradrenaline, isoprenaline. These drug molecules contain the basic structure, that is catecholamines, and therefore called classified under catecholamines. That this is the basic structure present in this compound, isn't it? That is those compound, those drug molecules chemically containing the benzene ring with OH substitution in third and fourth position, that is catechol nucleus with attachment of amino group. This is the basic structure present in those compounds are called as catecholamines. Example of catecholamines, that is adrenaline, noradrenaline, isoprenaline. These drugs chemically basically contain catechol nucleus. While non-catecholamines are those compounds with absence of OH substitution in third and fourth position of benzene ring. There is no hydroxyl group present in basic structure, and therefore classified under non-catecholamines. Example, ephedrine and amphetamine. Ephedrine and amphetamine, these drugs are used as sympathomimetic drug or adrenergic drug, but belonging to non-catecholamines compound. Example, ephedrine and amphetamine. While adrenaline, noradrenaline, isoprenaline, it contains the basic structure, basic nucleus, that is catecholamine nucleus, and therefore classified under catecholamines. Sometimes they will ask what are catecholamines. Give example. So catecholamines are those compounds containing benzene nucleus with attachment of hydroxyl group in third and fourth position of benzene ring with attachment of amino ring and therefore called as catecholamines. Example: adrenaline, noradrenaline, isoadrenaline. Why non-catecholamines are those compounds where there is the absence of catechol nucleus, absence of hydroxyl or OH substitution in third and fourth position and therefore classified under non-catecholamine but shows sympathomimetic action or adrenergic action. Example are ephedrine and amphetamine. So this is the first way for classification of sympathomimetic amines compound, that is according to chemical structure to catecholamines and non-catecholamines. This is the classification. Now second way, that is according to pharmacological action or according to therapeutic agent. Sometimes they will be asked that classify sympathomimetic amines according to pharmacological action. So according to pharmacological action, first type that is called as bronchodilators. Bronchodilators are those drugs that is used in treatment of bronchial asthma, which causes dilation of bronchial smooth muscle, relaxation effect on bronchial smooth muscle, and therefore such agents are called as bronchodilators, that is purely used in treatment of bronchial asthma. Example: adrenaline, salbutamol, isoadrenaline. These drugs are the drug of choice in treatment of bronchial asthma. Sometimes they will define bronchodilator, give example. Or what is bronchial asthma? Name the drug used in bronchial asthma. Bronchial asthma, that is nothing but constriction of bronchial smooth muscle, and therefore there is a difficulty in breathing. कि त्या पेशंटला श्वास घ्यायला त्रास होतो. That is bronchial asthma. In bronchial asthma, whatever the drug are used, that is called as bronchodilator drug. These drugs causes relaxation effect on bronchial smooth muscle, causes dilation of bronchial smooth muscle, and thereby relieve difficulty in breathing, thereby used in treatment of bronchial asthma. Example are adrenaline, salbutamol, and isoadrenaline. These are the drug of choice in treatment of bronchial asthma. Another type, that is nasal decongestant. Nasal decongestant, that is those drugs used in nasal congestion in the form of nasal drop. Example are betazoline, xylometazoline. These are the nasal decongestant. Sometimes here again they will have define nasal decongestion, give two example. So nasal decongestant are those agents that relieve nasal congestion, used in nasal congestion. Example are betazoline and xylometazoline. Third type, that is used in hypotension shock. ज्या पेशंटचं ब्लड प्रेशर कमी असेल, यूज इन हायपोटेन्शन शॉक. एक्झाम्पल नॉरएड्रेनालिन अँड phenylephrine. Noradrenaline, that is the drug of choice. We'll see in detail regarding pharmacological action, but where you remember that the drug used in hypotension shock. ज्या पेशंटचं ब्लड प्रेशर कमी झालं त्याला ब्लड प्रेशर वाढवायला जो ड्रग देणार आहे, that is used in treatment of hypotension shock. Example noradrenaline and phenylephrine drug. And fourth type, that is CNS stimulant. These drugs are adrenergic drug or sympathomimetic drug, but additionally produces CNS stimulation action. Example: xanthine alkaloids like amphetamine compounds also be used as sympathomimetic drug, that is amphetamine, isn't it? So this is according to what? According to pharmacological action. And third type, according to receptor combination. You know that these adrenergic drugs combine with alpha and beta receptors. So that is alpha agonist and beta agonist. And third type, that is both alpha and beta agonist acting on both receptors, that is alpha and beta. You know that agonists are those compounds that combine with receptor and produces maximum pharmacological action, intrinsic pharmacological action. That compound that is called as agonist. So alpha agonist, beta agonist, and both alpha and beta agonist. So alpha agonist, that is acting only on alpha receptor, wherever alpha receptors are present. Already we completed in introduction that alpha receptors are present in eyes, peripheral blood vessels, GIT. There is a presence of alpha receptor. So alpha agonist, that is noradrenaline. Noradrenaline drug acting only on alpha receptor. While beta agonist, that is acting on beta receptor. Beta 1 and beta 2. These are the receptors, that is beta 1 receptor present in heart, while beta 2 receptor present in bronchi and in liver. So acting only on this system, that is beta agonist. Example: isoadrenaline drug. Remember this. And both alpha beta receptor agonist, that is adrenaline. Adrenaline acting on both receptor, alpha as well as beta receptor, and therefore called as acting on both alpha and beta receptor. Alpha beta agonist, example adrenaline. Sometimes they will be asked, give example of alpha agonist or beta agonist or both alpha beta agonist. So alpha agonist example noradrenaline, beta agonist acting on, that is example isoprenaline, and both alpha and beta agonist example adrenaline. Now if you know that where alpha receptor present, where beta receptor present, then we can explain pharmacological action. So introduction is very important, that alpha receptors are present in eyes, peripheral blood vessels, in GIT, skeletal muscle, that is present of alpha receptors, while beta receptors are present in smooth muscle, particularly in heart, bronchi, liver, there is presence of beta receptors. So this is the full classification of sympathomimetic drug or adrenergic drug. So mostly they will ask that define and classify sympathomimetic drug or adrenergic drug for 4 months. That you understand that these are the pharmacological agent that when administered exogenously, these drugs when given exogenously, that is outside the body, produces similar action as like natural stimulation of sympathetic nervous system, and additionally contain amine compounds, amine group, and therefore called as sympathomimetic amines. So there are 3 ways according to chemical structure. You whenever they ask classification, you should mention according to chemical structure only. If they ask specifically that classify according to pharmacological action or according to receptor, then explain this. So catecholamines, sometimes they are what are catecholamines? Give example. What are non-catecholamines? Give example. Or what are bronchodilators? Give example. What are other decongestant? Give example. Which drug are used in hypotension shock? So noradrenaline and phenylephrine. Now another thing, that for adrenaline that is also called as epinephrine. Noradrenaline, that is also called as norepinephrine, and isoprenaline, that is also called as isopropyl aldosterone. So remember the other name, that adrenaline, that is also called as epinephrine. Noradrenaline also called as norepinephrine, and isoprenaline, that is isopropyl aldosterone or isoproterenol compounds. These are the other names for these drugs. So till today we completed regarding introduction, what is autonomic nervous system, what is difference between sympathetic parasympathetic nervous system receptors, then first chapter definition and classification. This one is important. Now in next lecture we see regarding detailed pharmacological actions of adrenaline, noradrenaline, isoprenaline, dopamine action, where these drugs are going to be acting, isn't it? So this is up to definition and classification of sympathomimetic amine. Thank you.